Hi everyone. In this video we are going to see filter transformation in PySpark. So let's just import all the SQL functions available. And for this tutorial we are going to use a little bit of big data set. So it's just a custom data set that I am creating it here using spark.create data frame. So this is the data and these are the columns. So let's see the data. Okay, so now we have this data set where we have this 5 columns. So for the filter operation, we can compare or we can say it is similar to the where clause of SQL. So like for example in SQL, if we want to filter out this data set based on city and we are saying, okay, we just need a Mumbai city over there. So then we'll use a where clause and where we will define city is equal to Mumbai. So filter is doing the same thing here as the name suggests. It is used to filter out the data. So let's check how we can filter the data. So I have already added some comments and a markdown here with different kind of scenarios. So let's see it one by one. So for example, if we want to filter out our this DF data frame where employees earning more than 70,000. So how we can do that? So it's simple. We have to use this filter function. So this is filter, and then we'll first select the column. So what is the column here? So it is salary column. So we'll write salary. Now here itself we will define. So what we are doing, we are saying, okay, let's filter out the DF data set, data frame, where salary is greater than 70,000. So now let's do the dot so also. So now what will happen? It will filter out this data frame where the salary is greater than 70,000. So see, now we have the data frame where salary is greater than 70,000. And obviously we can store it into a different data frame also while doing this. So we can store it like this and then we can use our display function also. See. So this is how it will work. Mm, and there is another way to replicate the same kind of filter expression. So now this time we will just use SQL expression. So we'll say under double quotes itself we will mention the column name and we will say okay, salary is greater than 70,000. So this will also work in the same way. So we can either use the column object, then like defining the column and then adding a condition, or we can just do this SQL expression. But the thing is, when we use this column object, we will be having more options to modify the data accordingly, and we can use more functions over there. So that's why we always prefer this method, even if whenever we use the select expression, select transformation, we'll also prefer this column object only. So these are the two scenarios. This is how we can simply filter out our data. Now, if we want to filter it by string, so by this string means, so first we have done the filter here. We were saying okay, it's greater than 70,000. So obviously salary column was an integer column, but we have another columns also department, which will be not an integer data type like. So how we can filter it out with respect to string? So it's simple. Just we have to do the same thing. Df dot filter. Then we'll select the department, and here we will say equal to IT. And if we do dot so, see. So here is how we will be able to filter out the data with like any normal string type column. So here we have filter out the department where the department is only IT. And here we have to use equal to. Why? Because in Python, whenever we assign variable, we just use equal to for assigning the variable. But here we are checking. So that's why we have to do equal to, because we are checking the data where the department is IT, and then we are filtering out the data. So this is how we can filter out by department. And now the another scenario is if we want to filter out based on multiple conditions. So now here we have the scenario, we want to filter out the data with IT department, and also in IT department salary should be greater than 70,000. So how we can do this? So let's do the df dot filter, and now let's enclose it in a bracket. Department, we are saying it should be IT department. And now what will happen, if you remember SQL, we generally write and over there for combining different where clauses over there. But here we have to use this and here, and then we'll again say column salary is greater than 70,000. And now if we'll do dot so, it will filter out our data. So see, now we have the IT department where salary is greater than okay, sorry, it's 70,000, greater than 70,000. So if you see here what I am doing, I am enclosing this one condition into in under the brackets, and then I'm using and over here. Then I'm again enclosing it here so that it will be separated out. Okay, this is the one condition and this is the another condition. So it is an and clause here. So when both the condition will satisfy, it will select only that rows and it will filter out the data. So this is how we can replicate the and clause like here in PySpark. Now, if you remember in SQL, like how we filter out the data with the and how we filter out the data with or. So, for example, if we want to have only sales or HR department data. So now here what we will do, we'll use the same dot filter, and then again we'll use column object. So let's column object, and then department, and it should be equal to sales. Now we cannot use here or, we have to use pipe operator here. So this pipe operator is equivalent to or. So now we'll give another condition, column department, and here we are saying it should be HR department dot so. So now it is able to filter out the data for the department sales or HR. So now we have only data only where we have sales and HR department. And now the another scenario is if we have to use not condition, means if we want to filter out only IT department, means if we want the data, complete data apart from IT department. So there is two ways to do this. Let's check the data once. So first way is we'll define sales, HR, finance. We'll define all the department. Or the another way is we'll use df.filter and we'll say department and IT. But we don't want only, we want to filter out the IT department. So we'll use this symbol. So this symbol is equal to not. So now if I will do dot so now it will filter out the IT department and we will have all the department only apart from IT department. And now the another scenario is, just think in that way, if we have this data, if we want like multiple conditions from one column, we want Mumbai, we want Delhi. So we have to write either like this or condition, like if we want like two different cities, we have to write this or condition. Or there is another way. If you remember in SQL we have the in operator over there. In the same way we can do the same thing here. So now the scenario is we want to filter the data for Mumbai and Delhi city. Okay, so let's do the df dot filter and column city. Now we have here isin, so it's equivalent to in, and under this we can define the multiple conditions. So under in or under isin it will act like a or. So Mumbai or Delhi. So if I will do dot see, now it's able to filter the data for Mumbai or Delhi. And if we want, let's say, oops, if we want, let's run this again. If we want Kolkata also, so we just have to, in double quotes, we have to write Kolkata, and it will include Kolkata also. And the another ways, if like the condition is going to change every time, we can say like required city. We can create a list and we can give this list under isin operator. So this will also work, and we can extend the list. Whatever cities we want to include, we can include it here. Now the another scenario is, if you remember in SQL we have like operator. In the same way we can, in PySpark also we can use the like operator. So for this scenario we want to filter out the employee whose name starts with S. So it's similar to SQL. We'll say column, employee name column, and now we are saying like operator, and just similar to SQL will say S and percentage sign. So the name start with S and it can have like any character after S, and then we can do dot see, it is filtering out the employee's name whose name starts with S. And the another way to do this is, let's copy this. Now if I'm saying filter using starts with, so filter for the employees whose name start with J. So like we can just use here starts with, and we can say J, and it will work. But in like operator, obviously we can have like multiple conditions. For example, like similar to, we can give like characters 1 2 3. We don't have any name here. If I will give more characters, see, in like operator we can use whatever we have studied in SQL. The scenario of like operator we can replicate it here, but using starts with, obviously it will check like, okay, if it is starting with this, it will return out. And if I will say starts with jo, it will just check the starting string and it will return the data. And now the another scenario is filter using contents. Now if there is a scenario we want to filter the data which is having like department which is having fin keyword over there, so we can just do like dot filter, and we can use column object department dot contains fin dot so obviously we have finance only, like that kind of, like it will start with finance. But just think in such a way, like if in one row it is started at finance underscore department, it is written in another row, it is having something another name. So we can, in that kind of scenarios, we can use dot contains function and we can filter out using the keywords itself. Now the another scenario is filter the data using between. So it's similar to SQL. Now the condition is we want salaries from 80 60K to 80K. So I can use df dot filter, and let's use the column object dot between, and just like similar to SQL, we will provide the starting and value. And if we do the dots, so if you remember in SQL, when we are saying 60K to 80K, it will include 60K and 80K also. It is not excluding 60K and 80K. So see, it's including 60K and 80K also, and in between all the numbers. Now at the end of this tutorial, let's have a like combine multiple scenarios. So for example, here we want to filter the data where the department is ID, salary is greater than 17K, and for the Mumbai city. So we can use df dot filter, and let's use column object. That first condition will be the department, where department is IT, and we have to use AND operator here. And here we are saying salary is greater than 70,000 and city is Mumbai. And if I will do dot so, okay, it will give error. Why it is giving error? Because we are not enclosing each and every condition. So we have to enclose each and every condition under bracket. So let's enclose it. Let's enclose this also. Now it will work. See, it's able to filter out IT department, salary is greater than 70,000, and city is Mumbai. So filter operator, or like filter operation in PySpark, is similar to where clause of SQL, and we have covered multiple scenarios and multiple ways to filter out the data. Thanks for watching.